Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Monday, December 29th, 2025. It's been a blessing to be part of this community for almost 6 years, finding each other from across the world just to say good morning, to learn Torah, to lift each other up, and to face a day with more spirit, more hope. It's so good to see you, Deborah and Penny. Penny, thank you. It's broadcast 1457. Lydia and Anustart, I'm so sorry that I've forgotten what your first name is. I keep on saying Anava, but I don't think that's right. It's good to see you, though. Welcome back. Cynthia and Lydia, John and Marcia, Linda and Jerry, Joyce, it's good to see you. Jack and Carl, Sandy, nice to see you. Linda and Judy, Boker Tov. Let's take a moment to say good morning to a few more friends and then we'll get started. Diane and Camille. Camille, you are in the airport about to fly to Taos. Amazing to see you. Shari, welcome. Karen, good morning. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Cecile. All right, let's take a breath, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. It's broadcast 1457. Thank you, Penny. And it's good to see all of you. I'm looking out at the snow, hoping that everyone is safe and warm, and that we remember that we can do something about the world to help it be warmer for others. This is the final parsha in the book of Breshit, Parshat Vayechi. And it says at the very beginning, Vayechi, and he lived. And it's a story of Jacob's life, similar to the way Chaye Sarah, the parsha earlier in Breshit, actually is called the life of Sarah and tells of the end of her life. So too is Vayechi named about the life of Jacob, and in it we see the end of Jacob's life and the end of Joseph's life and that generation. It's the end of the family story, because with Shemot, with Exodus, which will begin in a week, we begin a national story. And one of the most important questions that faces us as a global Jewish people these days, and it has always faced us, especially since the rebirth of our homeland, the state of Israel, is what is the way to build a nation? What is the way to build a nation? And many people, of course, continue to offer their thoughts, sometimes deeply wise and sometimes simply reactive. How do we create a notion of a nation, especially after one has already been created? Because as is clear from world history, not just the state of Israel and not just the United States, nations are always in process. And when they stop growing, when they stop considering themselves ideas worth pursuing, there's nothing there. It's just a border with an infrastructure and power. So the question then is, friends, how do we create the notion of a nation? No less than Rav Kook, the chief rabbi of British Mandate Palestine, before the founding of the State of Israel, an incredible figure who was a leader, a pioneer in what we now call religious Zionism, who would have taken real issue with some of what's happening in Israel in the name of religion. He asked this question too. And I want to offer his response based on this pivot point between Breshit, the book of Genesis, and Shmot, the book of Exodus. It is a powerful, powerful response that he offers, which is that the best way to build a nation is to think about it in the way that we consider these two books. He says the book of Breshit, the book of Genesis, is called Sefer Brit Avot, the book of the covenant of literally the fathers, the ancestors, the family story. Whereas Exodus, one of the centerpieces of Exodus, and there are many, is Mount Sinai. So he calls it Sefer Brit Sinai, the book of the covenant of Sinai. And he says the following. Remember, as an early religious Zionist whose thoughts were full of how to create this nation in the name of our people from a place of spiritual integrity, he said the best way to build a nation is to use the model of family. Which is more important? Breshit. Because without Breshit, we can't get to Shmot. The birth of the nation of Israel, Bnei Yisrael, happens next week. We begin this book. This week we see something precious, which is family learning its lessons and standing together in a generational turning point. We're never done growing. Every generation hopes to do better than the last. But as the story becomes more concrete, one of the things to hold on to is the organic nature of family. Things are not actually always going to be this way in this moment of anyone's family story. Stories are meant to continue being written. That's what makes a story holy. That should be true for nations as well. In this moment, as we are also preparing to say goodbye to 1 year on the secular calendar and begin a new one, the blessing for us is to see ourselves in this pivot point way. The story continues. How do we want the next chapter to be written? Perhaps one of the best things for us to do is revisit our origin stories and remind ourselves of the sanctity of growing, of thinking, of feeling, like the Parsha is called Vayechi, to live. In order to live, we have to see ourselves as growing. So I bless us with that. Let's send our hearts to the east, friends. Let's sing. Kol hod malevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.